Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty. Well, I'm sure that you heard of the unfortunate case. Unfortunate and very sad and tragic of former basketball star Royce Reed's arrest. Miss Reed turned herself in for felony child neglect. Now, this case involves her and Dwight Howard's 14-year-old son. Apparently, the boy has a history of molesting children younger than he. Now, I deliberately blotted out his face, and I think it's extremely rude and very insensitive and really just tacky for people to leave in his face as they are reporting this particular story. He's a minor. He's 14 years old. And my video here today is not going to really be about him. But let me just tell you something about Royce Reed. She should be ashamed of herself, and she needs to be arrested, and she needs to be punished to the fullest extent of the law. And the reason why I say this is because the boy was under a court order not to be around children younger than he because he had a history of doing this. She knowingly put her boyfriend's child, who was under the age of 14, in the path of her son, who has a history of doing this, to be molested. How incredibly irresponsible can you be as a parent? I really have no sympathy for her. I mean, you can say that it is her fault that her boyfriend's son was molested by her son. Now, this case is tragic all around, and I want this to be a warning. And the warning of which I'm going to put out there is going to be this here. Okay, if you do not know, the boy's father is NBA star Dwight Howard. Him and Ray had a child together. I do not believe that they were married. As I mentioned before, he's 14 years old. And Royce Reed had primary custody of the boy. But I want to take this into a different direction, into a direction that's going to be very uncomfortable. And many of you are not going to like what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it because this is seeing beyond and through. Surprisingly, the average age of a child, the first time they see internet pornography, is 11 years old. Kids don't have to be looking for pornography. It is programmed to find them. The average age that children will start looking at porn is 11 years old. Royce Reed and Dwight Howard's son was 14 years old. Now, I have no proof of this, but I'm going to speculate that he was exposed to porn. Like the vast majority of children out there, 70%, he was probably viewing porn. Where else would he get the mindset to have another child masturbate him? Yes, your child will be exposed to online porn, but don't panic. Here's what to do instead. So basically what it's stating is that your child has a good chance to be exposed to online porn. Kids watching porn is happening much earlier than you think. So let me tell you the warning which I'm putting out there. To parents, to guardians, to custodians of children, do not leave your child, your underage child, with another child who is 11, 12, 13, 14, and so forth. You may not want to believe this, but the fact is they will play around with them. That's a fact. After a child starts viewing porn, usually, the vast majority of the times, they would start having sex a year later. If you want to leave your child with supervision, you'll be better off by leaving them with a female, a teenage female. I would not encourage anyone to leave any child, male nor female, with a male child who is 11, 12, 13, and 14, and so forth. You're putting your child in danger. And you are a damn fool if you sit up there and think that nothing's going to happen. Children will play. They will experiment with what they've seen. The vast majority of them are exposed to online porn. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's happening. And you can put your head in the sand all you want. But what you're doing is that you're feeding your child pretty much to the wolves, so to speak. So if you want your child to be safe, use discretion and be honest about what's going on out there. The vast majority of children are watching porn. The vast majority will start having some type of a sex a year after that. So do not put your child at risk by leaving them with an older child, particularly a male child. It's a recipe for disaster. This stuff is real, it's happening, it will continue to happen. And one of the things that parents can do, and what they should do, talk to your children at an early age about sex. None of the stuff about being coy and being quiet and being shy, thinking that it's dirty. No, you're being a damn fool by not talking to them about sex. You need to warn them about their bodies, about what's appropriate, about things that should not be touched, games they should not be playing. People do not have a right to put their hands in their pants. They should never put their mouths on someone else's body. You need to have that talk with them. The earlier, the better. The foolish thing and the most irresponsible things that parents can do is to not talk to their children about sex and inappropriate behavior. No, we're in a different age and time right now. Children have phones. They're having phones at 10, 11. They will access this stuff. So what you need to do is to step up and realize that we are in a different place, a different time. We're in the age of technology. Cell phones, tablets, computers, they're out there. And so is porn, unfortunately for the minors. So parents, be aware, be smart, be mature. Don't hide your head in the sand. Teach your children what's right and wrong, and to have respect for their bodies, and to demand that other people respect their bodies. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you all beyond and through.